Hey VC, Jake Bell 505 here. Going to start this week off with an album of the week video. This is my second album of the week video, and it's playing in the background. So this week's album of the week is Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. For those of you who are fans of Frank Zappa, you probably know this album. A lot of people think it's one of his best, and one of his best in terms of his guitar playing and instrumental work. Yeah, it has a really. I think this lineup of his band was only used for this album. Let me check. Well, the violinist has been used before, but yeah. For the most part, these guys weren't on a lot of his 70s, 80s work. And this was when he started to go into this kind of music. This is right after, well, I think it was at the same time when the Mothers of Invention were making their last album. Like the 60s rock kind of stuff. Yeah. If you've never heard of him, you probably have. Frank Zappa's a really influential progressive rock, avant-garde composer, guitarist, vocalist, band leader. He signed Alice Cooper, Captain Beefheart. Yeah, he was pretty influential to music. This copy is actually the media itself is, I'd say, near mint. And the cover's in pretty good shape. There's some mild ring wear on the back, a little torn off the label, but it's in pretty nice shape, and it's original pressing. In terms of the cover, I have no idea what it means. Kind of looks like a empty pool or something, and some guys in it, a clown. But yeah, trying to think what else to say about this. Some of the songs I like off it, Peaches and Regalia. It's one of his most famous songs. I think his son Dweezil actually plays it a lot in a tribute concert called Zappa Plays Zappa. Gumbo Variations is pretty good. It's got a nice bass line, some kind of weird sax playing. Yeah, it's a good album, and if you want to get into Frank Zappa's stuff, I'd suggest you either his like electric guitar, his serious instrumental stuff. I'd suggest you start with this album because it doesn't really have any vocals, so he's not going off on like tangents or anything, and it's a little less weird than some of his later work. Well, either start with this or his like 60s rock, it depends. But yeah, this is a good album to start with because it's a lot less random than some of his other stuff, like Lumpy Gravy, which is a really like bizarre, just randomness. I don't know how to explain it. Good album, but really weird. So yeah, I first found out about Frank Zappa a couple years ago. A friend of mine who's a drummer was a big fan of him, and I kind of became obsessed with him last year, and that's all I listened to, so I've kind of gotten out of that hardcore, like, fanatic phase, but I still really enjoy his music, and have a good amount of his records. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this album. I would definitely check it out if you haven't heard it before, if you want to get into Zappa, or if you're just looking for an interesting listen, something that's good in terms of fusion / progressive rock. So, yeah, see you guys.